What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another OTM's prediction video.
Here we are.
The words, slowly coming out.
We got there.
We're podcasters.
We are.
We're not YouTube guys.
Yep.
I'm Kyle Gagliardi, the host of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
And I am Jim Tucker, or as Kyle likes to call me,
Ducky!
Oh yeah. And I am the champion.
No, I'm the champion. Don't let him. Mikey Wilson.
All
three people share this belt right here.
I have this main part, and then Gags has this one, and then Mikey can have the other part.
So believe it or not, we have new OTM champions. Yes, I'm saying that plural.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Mikey Wilson all took down the champion at the time, Ryan Vogus.
If it was a fatal four-way, one person got disqualified, three winners. Kind of weird.
We're like the New Day
right
now, and it's a good thing that we had Payback coming this Sunday, so we only have to do this, hopefully, for a week.
Of the three of us, who is who in New Day?
Okay, this is fair.
I
like to compare myself to Xavier Woods because I think I steer the ship in terms of the wrestling stuff, so I'll go with Xavier for me.
Well, I was going to be Big E, but I'm slimming.
You trying to... We're not. I don't know, Mikey's kind of louder like Big E.
Yeah, he's Big E.
He's out there. Yeah, you're now the more agile, skinny boy.
Yeah.
The people's champion.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to like you.
Yep.
And I'm the mastermind behind all this.
Yes.
So that's how.
And Xavier's got a YouTube channel. You're kind of the head of Overtime Sports Network, so you would. I mean, it's kind of your YouTube channel. Maybe?
Yeah,
I mean,
it kind of is, and that's what this video is brought to you by, the Overtime Sports Network. You can check them out on the interwebs at otsportsnetwork.com. And if you want to follow them on Twitter and Instagram, Tuck, where would you go?
@_OTSN baby. The baby is not part of it. That's just the Adam Cole's a wrestler.
Yeah, Adam Cole's a wrestler who did win at NXT TakeOver.
Yeah.
I did retain my NXT championship. Only lost one match.
Yeah, you had a
good night.
You had a great night.
It was a very good night for me. Damian Priest walked out the North American champion. Yeah. I don't think you were surprised with that, though.
I wasn't, and I watched that one live, and Cameron Grimes' runs were like too early. I'm like, nope, nah, that ain't it.
I talked about it a little bit with Ian and Vogus. There was a lot of like near moments where somebody else won.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did a really good job at like selling this ladder match that anybody could win because everybody had their time at the top.
Yeah.
There was a time where I thought Cameron Grimes was going to win. And then when I realized, if Grimes wins, Tuck probably wins.
Yeah.
So. But good news is Damian Priest won, and I picked Damian Priest, so I'm still the NXT champion. My belt's not here, though. It's at my place.
Well, it's a WWE show. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know what? This pay-per-view that is Sunday, we only have 4 confirmed matches as of today.
Yeah, and I think WWE only has about 4 confirmed matches. Putting pay-per-views back-to-back, week-to-week is a bold strategy, some would say.
I don't think they've ever done this before, honestly.
I can't recall. I don't have as long of a viewing history as you, Vogus, Mikey, but yeah.
Well, you got to think too. This SummerSlam's technically the second biggest show in WWE.
You would never follow up WrestleMania with a pay-per-view the next week.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're giving it no time to breathe. We're like, all right, here we go. Payback on Sunday. Overall excitement level for the pay-per-view.
A tick above flatlining, right?
I was going to say 4.
Beep.
Tommaso Ciampa?
Beep.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
Which, on NXT, did you watch NXT?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good return for Tommaso Ciampa.
Strong, yeah. Looking forward to
next Tuesday.
Super Tuesday.
Oh, quick pick. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be the NXT champion?
Finn Balor.
We're in agreement.
Yes.
We might be in agreement for the first match.
Many of these.
Yeah.
I think we will.
On Payback. We know this one's happening. United States Championship match between Apollo Crews, the current champion, and Bobby Lashley. We talked about this on the podcast last week, so make sure you check us out at Pod on the Mark on Twitter if you want to get all the links to that. But the Apollo Crews run still just seems so uneventful.
Treading water. I was envisioning much more of an inspired run, but he's kind of stayed in place for a lot of it.
They gave him a new theme song. Mm-hmm. He kind of showed a little bit more personality in some of the promos.
Yeah.
But there's no substance to it.
That's about it.
So do you think he's going to retain here against Bobby Lashley, or are you liking Bobby Lashley in this one?
I like Bobby Lashley.
Reasoning?
I just think I just think this would be. I think the Hurt Business is in a good spot. I think this would be one avenue that would further extend the Hurt Business,
Give him some credibility.
Yeah, and Apollo Crews hasn't done much, so
Yeah, I think this one is kind of easy, and maybe it's just what I want to see, but I think Bobby Lashley deserves a United States Championship. I mean, he's been pretty solid ever since his return a year ago. And the former champion Ryan Vogus thought that Cedric Alexander last week was going to be the reason that MVP won by joining the Hurt Business. I think Bobby Lashley wins thanks to Ricochet.
Ooh.
I think Ricochet is going to join the Hurt Business. Kind of a little swerve.
Yeah.
Because he's been talking to Cedric with Ricochet on the side. I think they're trying to distract you with that. And that Ricochet, honestly, out of the two with him and Cedric, he's got the most upside too.
Oh, yeah.
So if you put Ricochet in the Hurt Business, give him a personality, maybe he can team up with Shelton Benjamin and go for the Tag Team Championships.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm going to say Lashley is the new United States Champion. Mikey Wilson, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
And we don't know what Vogus is picking this time. Maybe since he lost his belt, he's playing the long game here.
Well, and it worked well for him the last time he won. His picks weren't announced, were they?
That's true. He waited, I think, till the Sunday of the event.
Yeah.
So, we see you, Vogus.
We're watching.
We know what you're doing. You're
we're
still
not
not.
fooled.
This isn't yours.
Nope. None of this is yours.
Well, third of that's mine. That can be yours.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll take that.
So we're all going with Bobby Lashley. Don't know about Ryan Vogus, but we all say there will be a new United States champion. The next matchup we know is happening, and I get to go first for this one, is a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match between the Golden Role Models, which is Bayley and Sasha Banks, versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Now, if you're somebody that's watching this video and you haven't watched WWE for the past couple months and you heard me say Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, you're going to be like, did he mean to say that? Yeah.
No, yeah, like, that's it.
that's a thing.
Yeah,
that's happening.
and they became a team because
Yeah, tell them how they became a team.
Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax got into it in the ring while Baszler was fighting Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sasha and Bayley were basically running around the ring encouraging them to fight each other. And now they're a team.
This is classic WWE
Well,
here.
and that's, when I get into fights with people, I
is
usually
often.
look to make them my partner and go after the people that are just watching. So
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Often.
the weird thing is WWE has done this numerous times.
Yep.
This is how the bar was actually created. With Sheamus and Cesaro,
Mm-hmm.
they had their little feud going on. They had a best of 7, and then they made them a team. So I'm not surprised this team actually is happening here. I mean, there's probably other options you could have had face Bayley and Sasha, but I guess this is their way of getting those two on the card. With that being said, though, this one can go either way for me. It just depends on if WWE wants to pull the trigger now at ending Bayley and Sasha as a unit. And I've been saying it for the past couple of shows. I think it needs to happen. So I'm going to say they lose their championships here to Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I can't believe I'm actually thinking that's going to happen. But the next show is Clash of Champions. So here's my thinking here.
Okay.
Bayley has a title match against whoever, not Sasha. Sasha then turns at Clash of Champions, costing Bayley, which then will set up a Hell in a Cell match between Bayley and Sasha. No belts involved.
Uh-huh.
Because you and I talked about that.
Yeah.
This feud doesn't need a belt.
No.
You can have that match at Hell in a Cell, and it could main event.
Well, and you lend credibility to other women, putting the title on them as well. The strength of the division has lied in Bayley and Banks right now.
For the whole quarantine area.
They don't need the gold, yeah.
And Mikey also going, or no, he's not going with Shayna and Nia Jax. I'm sorry, he's going with the Role Models. And he already gave out a spoiler that they will lose their belts at Clash of Champions, and then they will finish their feud at Hell in a Cell. So he's thinking the same path,
Yeah.
but he still thinks they're going to retain here. And that's, I mean, it's not dumb. I think it, like I said, I think it can go either way. Which way are you leaning?
I'm leaning towards Baszler and Jax because...
Get away from me. I'm trying to take this to myself.
You know I'm not going to do that. I also think I like the slow burn, cracks forming over time, the way they look at each other, and it's building, losing one title here, lose the tag titles, and I do think over time I do think the payoff is at Hell in a Cell, but I think a little bit. I like your opinion better.
Well, honestly,
and Mikey stinks. So.
Mikey does stink, but he said that idea, and I didn't know the order of the pay-per-views, and I was just thinking, I think it just makes sense to lose it now, and then you can have Sasha cost it at the next pay-per-view. I think if you just had them lose it and then one of them turns, quote unquote, on them at Payback, that'd be a little weird. It'd be too much, you know. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna drag it out a little bit more, but the crack will definitely continue here. I'm going with Shayna and Nia. So is Tucky. Mikey's going with the Golden Role Models in this one. So here's the third of the 4 matches that we know is happening, and this came out of nowhere. Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. Keith Lee debuted this Monday with new attire, a new theme song. What was your first thoughts when you heard that new theme? You saw what he looked like. Kind of a different look than what we were getting in NXT.
Blinking eye gif? Why?
Yeah.
Why, right? I thought he was great as he was. And, comes out, cuts one of the standard WWE prepackaged promos that's just been shit on.
He goes,
over and
people
over.
call me many things, but most call me Limitless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you call... Oh, hey, there's Limitless. No.
Yeah, actually, 0 people do that. And there are some of the worst human beings out there, and nope. That ain't it.
It kind of sucks, too, because, like you said, Keith Lee was doing so many good things in NXT. He had the perfect theme. And just throwing it off a little bit by that and debuting him that way, it kind of killed all the excitement that I had for this match we got here.
I am not trying right now to bask in his glory.
Oh, that's not good.
And I want to.
We all do.
I don't know that Vince does.
I don't know if Vince wants to deal with anything NXT.
Yeah.
Seems to be a problem.
It's not great.
I think you get to kick us off. I'll tell you this first. Mikey Wilson is going with Keith Lee, and he's really sticking to this take via an Edge interference. He really wants Edge to get back. He's going to keep putting that out there and hope it sticks.
Yeah. I like the enthusiasm. I think Orton wins, and I think Orton wins to keep him hot. I'm interested to see what they do with him.
I was going to say, this is Keith Lee's first main roster pay-per-view match. You're thinking he's going to lose?
Yep.
How does he lose then? Do you just pin him clean? Like, is this going to be a clean win for Orton, or there's going to be some kind of shenanigans?
I think there's going to be some shit. I don't know what it'll look like, but I think that Lee and Orton can be the long-term play as well.
Yeah.
That this isn't the first. It's not the only. So I think Orton's going to take it. Are you picking Lee?
I am going with Keith Lee.
Keith Lee?
I like the interference idea, but I was thinking a different man. I think what we did on Monday Night Raw was kind of write off Drew McIntyre from Payback.
Yeah.
So they could have this match, but I think Drew will be the reason Keith Lee gets the win here against Randy Orton. I think we're going to keep that Drew McIntyre-Randy Orton feud going. Like you said, though, I believe Keith Lee is in the horizon for that belt. Maybe Randy takes it at Clash of Champions, and then Keith Lee's the next contender for that belt. But I just don't think it would make sense for... You got this guy who was a North American champion and NXT champion at the same time. He was a big star in NXT. You call him up just to lose to Randy Orton.
Had a great Survivor Series weekend, too.
Hey, you're representing the shirt right there. We were there for that weekend. It was quite the weekend, by the way.
We'll see him. He's still rocking.
Rey Mysterio's around.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. She's about to be a tag team champion.
They're in the match.
Who would ever thought the first main roster title that Shayna Baszler could hold is the tag team championship?
That's, I got nothing. I was going to try to come up with something. But
yeah, it's not good. But yeah, I'm going with Keith Lee. I think if you get Drew McIntyre involved, it doesn't hurt Randy Orton. They can still have a championship match after that. So I'm sticking with that, and I feel pretty good about it.
And at this point, through 3 matches, I think I've secured the title.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm looking pretty good.
Well, there's one more match we know that is happening.
Yes.
The Universal Championship between the new Universal Champion, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and the return, the man you never saw coming, Roman Reigns. The big dog is finally back in WWE. Talk about a return. That was awesome.
It was awesome. You had to wait all night to figure out why the "you never saw it coming" thing was actually a thing.
Yeah.
I guess the RKO is kind of a play there.
They used it on the backslide win, too, from Drew McIntyre. And everybody was like, that's what you never saw coming was the backslide.
Cole, that's great.
Yeah.
So Fiend, Strowman, and Reigns. I went first last time.
Okay. Well, first off, welcome back, Roman Reigns. I know you're not watching this, but I've always been a big Roman Reigns fan. And the new look.
New teeth.
New chompers on.
Big muscles.
I mean, he was looking wreck everyone and leave.
Yeah.
That's what his shirt said. It's a good shirt.
Yeah. The O had the Roman Reigns logo in it.
That's true. Yeah. I might cop that. I don't know. But I'm waiting to see if Roman Reigns is the leader of Retribution.
Nope.
I think it is. I think he is.
You're wrong.
I will say this. My guesses, Gagliardi's guesses for Retribution, Dominic Dijakovic, Roman Reigns, Chelsea Green, Caden Carter, Mia Yim, and I don't know who the third man is, but that's what it looked like when they showed him.
Yeah.
So that's my take.
I don't have a take.
Okay. That's a safe bet.
Retribution stinks.
Okay. Mikey Wilson's going with the Fiend in this one.
Yep.
And I'm going to agree with Mikey Wilson. I think the reason this is a triple threat is so we can pin Braun Strowman one more time. I think it'd be too soon for Roman just to come back and then 6 days later he's the champion. Mm-hmm. We're getting there. Well, eventually that's going to be the payoff, but you wouldn't have done this triple threat if you didn't have a guy to pin. You make Roman look good by not getting the pinfall. The Fiend retains, and we go on with the Fiend and Roman Reigns. But keep an eye out for Otis.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for Otis.
Well, and I sent a tweet out during the match last night.
You
did? Last week during SummerSlam. Otis is not always toting the briefcase. So I feel like it's one of those things where, like, you're not, as a writer, you're not gonna talk about the gun on the mantle unless the gun's gonna go off.
Yeah.
And the briefcase popped up, and I'm like, I don't get it. You would never see it coming. So
you wouldn't.
That was like the tie-in for me, but
half the time I forget he's Mr. Money in the Bank.
Right. He's just carrying around his peach all the time. I'm going with the Fiend as well for many of the same reasons. I think Strowman becomes a fall guy. You can have great back and forths between the Fiend and Reigns. Strowman is in there to be the third wheel, basically.
Strowman and Roman have history too.
Yeah, and I just think the Fiend pins Strowman, and that gives you that clear path to those two in the future.
But let's be honest though, if Otis were to cash in, could he really do it to the Fiend and make it believable?
Nope.
Or would it be a failed cash in? They could do that. They've done it many times.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then again, what would be the point of, going through that whole Money in the Bank thing at corporate for Otis to win, and then he just...
And that was I really enjoyed that match, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. So, but the last match that we know for sure is happening as of today, we are all going with the Fiend to retain his Universal Championship. So I have 4 matches here to talk. They're not official, but they could happen. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it kind of makes sense once we go up and down these potential matches of it happening. So if they do happen, they count towards the predictions. If they don't, we just talked about it because we talked about it.
There we go.
So the first matchup here is the Intercontinental Championship. People forget Jeff Hardy won the Intercontinental Championship last Friday on SmackDown. Did you remember that?
I almost already forgot, yeah.
And I think Mikey did because Mikey's going with AJ Styles if this match were to happen to regain his IC title. Now, what do you think about that one?
I don't think it's crazy, but then again, I don't understand why they would put the belt on Hardy on
Feel
SmackDown.
Good moment.
Right. I have to go first.
You do.
Yeah.
The people are waiting. They want to know if this match were to happen, who'd be the Intercontinental Champion?
I'm going to pick Jeff Hardy just to give him a little bit more credibility and strength to his run. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think there was obviously a reason we gave Jeff Hardy we didn't, but WWE did. They did.
WWE.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy as well. Don't know where you go with AJ Styles after that.
No.
Trying to think. Because, the Fiend is going to be having a feud with Roman Reigns. Maybe he rekindles the flame with Matt Riddle. I don't know, but they brought AJ over to SmackDown. And then he loses his Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. So, I don't know. Interesting spot there, but I would go with Jeff Hardy if that matchup were to happen. Another matchup that hypothetically could happen, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between Cesaro and Nakamura, the champions, and the Lucha House Party. Believe it or not, Kalisto is back. I didn't know he was gone. I forgot.
Nope.
Didn't know he was still employed. But he is, and he's back with Lucha House Party. And if this matchup were to happen, I think with Kalisto being back, he will cost the Lucha House Party this game, or this match, I should say. It's not a game. And I think Kalisto will turn heel. So if this matchup does happen, I'm just going with this bold take, saying that Kalisto is going to turn just because he just returned. And yeah, Cesaro Nakamura for the win.
I'm going to go Cesaro Nakamura as well, just because I don't really take the Lucha House Party that seriously.
Does anybody?
Nope.
Lucha.
That's fun when you're in the crowd.
Yeah.
To do that thing, right?
It's good for the kids, but...
Mikey went with Cesaro and Shinsuke too, right?
He did.
No.
And I think everybody, if that match were to happen, you could probably write it down for Vogus that Cesaro and Nakamura would retain. The last two matches wouldn't be title matches. One of them would be The Miz versus Big E, and I don't know if you saw, but on Talking Smack, these two kind of had a little bit of a differences going on there on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Butting heads a little bit. They've had matches on SmackDown. It would make sense if this matchup were to happen at Payback. Who you got?
I'm going to take Big E because I think if they're going to give him a singles push, he's going to have to start winning singles matches.
SmackDown's kind of crowded.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking Big E's going to get the push, say Styles is still out there, Roman's back, The Fiend's there, Braun Strowman's there, King Corbin's there.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of talent on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Only 2 hours.
Yep. It's not a lot.
It's a problem.
Dynamite runs into the same problem.
Very true.
AEW.
And that's why they create their own fake titles. The FTW Championship. Maybe Big E needs a New Day Championship. Or you can take Tyler Breeze's, left, right championship that he's got now?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree with you, and so is Mikey Wilson. If this matchup were to happen, I think the Big E singles push would have to continue. I would like to keep an eye on The Miz, though. I think he's a little sketchy. He's brought up Retribution a little bit. Just saying,
Yeah.
if you're bringing it up, you're talking about it.
He was the last one out on SmackDown when the roster came down.
He also said he doesn't want any part of Retribution. A little sketch to say that.
Something the Spy would say.
Definitely true. So, we're going to go with a clean sweep there with Big E, which would take us to the final potential matchup that could happen on Payback. King Corbin versus Matt Riddle. These two have seemed to be feuding for about a month now, ever since Matt Riddle lost that title match against AJ Styles for the IC title. If this matchup were to happen, I think I'd go King Corbin.
Yeah.
I just think Matt Riddle, they're obviously not ready to put any strap on him. So let's build him up more as a babyface. We always talk about that, like babyfaces are better with the chase, the come-behind story. So I think if this matchup were to happen on Payback, King Corbin could probably use this win.
I think it'd be a great match, too. I think Corbin's stock is rising. Personally, Vogus is 1,000% going to go for Corbin here.
Oh, 100%.
He's got to.
100%. That's his boy.
Mikey went with Matt Riddle?
He did.
Yeah.
He's a bro.
He is. I could see him getting one of the bro hats.
I don't think I could pull it off, but Mikey
100% would not.
Mikey could definitely pull it off.
So I'm going with Corbin as well.
Yeah. And that concludes it, ladies and gentlemen. Payback is this Sunday. It's happening. We'll find out if there's a new OTM pay-per-view champion. Let us know down in the comments. Sound off in the comments right now on who you think is going to win at Payback. Comment who you think is going to win this championship.
Tucky, it's Tucky. Just if you're looking for spelling.
So technically this is your second reign with this, or is this technically your first since we've started?
I've held it my own, I thought.
Have you?
At one point. Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, I won Survivor Series before the belt.
Oh, before we put this into play.
Mm-hmm.
So this is technically all of our first reigns. Me, you, and Mikey.
Yeah.
So we'll find out.
I'm excited. You can follow the shenanigans on Twitter at PotOnTheMark, myself at JimTuck89, and this guy at Too Sweet Kyle.
Too sweet!
Until next time, thank you for watching our Payback predictions and preview show. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. We appreciate you, and we are
out.